We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Amud Beis in Meseches Nedarim. This is Nedarim Daf 30b. On the previous Amud, the Gemara said that there are two ways to understand the end of the Mishnah. The end of the Mishnah said that we're talking specifically, when we talk about people who travel at sea, we're talking about people who take long journeys at sea, not people who just go from Akko to Yafo. The first way of understanding the last line of the Mishnah is it's going on the beginning of the Mishnah. The beginning of the Mishnah says if a person makes a neder not to get benefit from those who travel at sea, so we're not talking about Aholchem me Akko Yafo. We're not talking about those who travel from Akko to Yafo. Those aren't the people that the person is prohibited to get benefit from. To Halein Yoshve Yaboshin, because those people, they're really called people who live on the land. That's not really traveling by sea. Elamimisha Darkon Lefarish. What we're talking about is somebody who's going to go on a long journey at sea. So if somebody makes a neder, I'm not going to get hana, I'm not going to get benefit from someone who travels at sea. It's somebody who's Darkon Lefarish. It's somebody whose way is to take a long journey at sea. That's if you understand the last line of the Mishnah going on the Reisha of the Mishnah. Now, the one who learns the last line of the Mishnah going on the end of the Mishnah would understand as follows. Hanoder miyoshvei yabasha, the end of the Mishnah says, if you make a neder not to get benefit from those who are on the land, asur biyordei hayam, so you're also prohibited to get benefit from those who travel at sea, because those people also live on the land. V'lo be'elo aholchem me'akko liyafo bilvad, and not only those who travel at sea from Akko to Yafo, not only are they're obviously considered those who live on land, but not only them. Ela afilu b'misha darko lefarish, even somebody whose way is to travel long at sea, hoel v'sovo liyabasha salik, since in the end everyone will come to the land, so therefore everyone is included as a yoshvei yabasha. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Hanoder me'roe hacham, if somebody takes a neder not to get benefit from those who see the sun, Asar af besumin, he's also prohibited to get benefit even from blind people. Blind people are also included in roe hachama. Shalom eskavin ze elalamisha hachama roa osan. Because when you say roe hachama, the intention is somebody who the sun sees them, meaning they are not concealed from the sun, and therefore that includes blind people. And the Gemara says, "My time, what's the reason? Midaloka amar min haroin." From the fact that he didn't say min haroin, from those who see. If he would have said from those who see, that would have excluded blind people. But if you say me roe hachama, the blind people are included. What does roe hachama exclude? La'afuke dagim v'uvrim. It comes to exclude fish and fetuses. Those are not roe hachama because those are concealed from the sun. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Hanoder mishechore harosh. Let's say somebody takes a neder not to get benefit from shechore harosh, those who have dark heads. So Asur, he's still prohibited to get benefit from the following individuals: Bekarachin, from people who are bald, Ubale Sevos, or older people who have white hair. That's all included in Shchore Harosh. Umutter benashim uvikatanim, but he's mutter, he can get benefit from women and from children. They are not considered Shechore Harosh. She'ein nikron Shechore Harosh ela anashim, because the term Shechore Harosh, that refers specifically to men. And the Gemara says, my time, what's the reason? Midaloka amra mi baalei seir, from the fact that the guy didn't say from people who have hair. If he would have said baalei seir, so that could exclude someone who was bald, but that's not what he said. He said shchore harosh, which is a term for men. Umutter benashim uvikatanim shein nekroin shchore harosh ela anashim. He's mutter to get benefit from women and children because shchore harosh refers to men. My time, and what's the reason? Anashim is zimnin demichsu reshayu, v'zimnin demiglu reshayu, because men, sometimes they cover their heads, and sometimes they uncover their heads. That's what's meant by shechore harosh. People who have dark heads, means to say sometimes it's covered, and sometimes it is not. Avol nashim, but when it comes to women, liola michsu, they always cover their heads. Ukatanim, and when it comes to children, liola miglu, they always uncover their heads, and therefore the women and the children are not considered shechore harosh. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Hanoder min hayilodim, if somebody takes a neder not to get benefit from those who are born, mutter banoladim, he's mutter to get benefit from those who will be born in the future. Min hanoladim, but if he takes a neder not to get benefit from noladim, asr min hayilodim, he's asr from both noladim and yilodim. Doesn't matter if they will be born or they are born, that's all included in the term noladim. Rabbi Meir matir af yilodim. Rabbi Meir says if a person takes a neder not to get benefit from noladim, he's mutter even to get benefit from yilodim, meaning he can get benefit from the yilodim and the noladim. The question the Gemara will ask on Rabbi Meir, so who is he prohibited from getting benefit from if he says min hanoladim? The Chachamim say lo neskavin ze ela b'mi shedarko lihivolid. When a person says noladim, the intention is those whose normal way is to be born. He's not saying those who are born in the future as opposed to those who are currently born. He just means in general all human beings who are born. And the Gemara says, Rabbi Meir, according to Rabbi Meir, Velomi boy no lodim. So it sounds like Rabbi Meir is saying yilodim are mutter and no lodim are mutter when a person takes a neder not to get benefit from the no lodim. So elam iman also, but if that's the case, so who does Rabbi Meir say you're prohibited from? It sounds like you're not prohibited from anyone. What did the neder even mean according to Rabbi Meir when a person says min ha no lodim? And the Gemara says, according to the Rabbi Meir, you have to say there are words missing in the Mishnah, and the Mishnah should read as follows. Hanoder min hayilodim mutter ben oladim. If a person takes a neder not to get benefit from those who are born, he's mutter from those who will be born. Min ha-noladim, but if somebody says from the noladim, asr bi-yilodim, then he's asr according to the chachamim from everybody, from the noladim and the yilodim. It just means those whose way it is to be born. Rabbi Meir Omer, now here's the change. Rabbi Meir says, Af ha-noder min ha-noladim, even a person who takes a neder not to get benefit from the noladim, mutter bi-yilodim, he's mutter from the yilodim, meaning he's mutter to get benefit from those who are born, and he only means those who are going to be born in the future when he says noladim. Ki he'echi denoder min ha-yilodim mutter ben-oladim. Just like somebody who takes a neder not to get benefit from yilodim is mutter in noladim, he's mutter in those who will be born in the future. In other words, Rabbi Meir understands both terms literally. If you take a neder not to get benefit from noladim, you're mutter in yilodim. You take a neder not to get benefit from yilodim, you're mutter in noladim. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Rav Papa li Abaya, Rav Papa said to Abaya, L'meimra de noladim de misiyaldan mashma. Does our Mishnah mean to imply that the word noladim means those who will be born in the future? That's certainly what it sounds like the Mishnah is saying. But but according to that, Shnei vonecha hanoladim l'cha b'eretz Mitzrayim. The pasuk talks about your two sons who were already born to you in Eretz Mitzrayim. In this pasuk we're talking about Menashe and Ephraim, and they were already born. Clearly noladim does not mean the future. Hachanami desiyaldan. Does that mean it's in the future? Of course not. That's talking about the past. So you see that noladim can actually mean those who were born. But the Gemara says, but are you going to say that noladim means they were already born in the past? We have an example of noladim meaning the future. According to that, it says there will be a son born to the house of David named Yoshio. That's talking in the future. Are you going to say over there he was already born? Even Menashe wasn't born yet, and Menashe was before Yoshio. And so therefore you see in this situation, nolad means going to be born in the future. And so the Gemara says, rather the word noladim can be mashma both ways. It can be mashma already born or mashma in the future. When it comes to Nedarim, we follow the way that people speak. And when it comes to the term noladim, so generally people say noladim, they refer to those who are still going to be born, who are going to be born in the future. And the Gemara continues, the Mishnah said, when a person says noladim, he doesn't mean that they will be born in the future, he just means to say those who are born in general. It refers to both noladim and yilodim. And the Gemara says, well, what does that come to exclude? According to the Chachamim, who is not included in the term noladim, and the Gemara says, dogim va'ofos, it comes to exclude fish and birds. Those are not noladim because they're not born in the normal fashion, they are hatched out of eggs. The Mafarish over here says, La'afuke ofos v'dogim she'ein noladim mimei imon. They're not born from the womb. Elamatilan beitzim u'meschamim v'yosin. Rather, they're hatched from eggs, and therefore they're not included in the term noladim. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph.